Hi guys, welcome to tonight's broadcast. I was trying to get all cute. I want to light a candle and everything. I didn't get a chance to do that, so I was gonna light that candle. But anyway, we're gonna wait a few minutes and let Facebook give you guys the notification that we are live. So come on in, get comfortable. It's gonna be a good one. I'm really excited to share tonight's broadcast with you guys. And you see I have a special guest here. So we're going to get into that in just a second. Hey, Deborah, girl, welcome. Hey, Shalonda. Welcome, ladies. Come on in, get comfortable. This is going to be a good one. I'm telling you right now, share it out. This is one of those ones you want to share out. Hey, Tracy. Hey, girl. Welcome, Tracy. Come on in, everybody. Get comfortable. And we're going to go ahead and get started. If this is your very first time hopping on one of my live feeds, my name is Falon Bonner. I'm the founder of the Slay Ministry. We are the ultimate wholeness hub for women. We equip you with the necessary tools to become healthy, whole, and married, to get that ring, girl, you know, that hardware on your finger. We are here to truly help you win in every single area of your life. So this segment of my Facebook Live is called the Kingdom Entrepreneur Spotlight. What is that? This is where we highlight fearless Christian entrepreneurs who have launched out into the deep, hearkened to the voice of God, and are doing what God has called them to do. And as a result, they're walking in their purpose, fulfilling their assignment, and they are running successful, thriving businesses. So I'm super excited because we are shining the light on my mom today. Like, this is a different broadcast. Like, typically we do these on Fridays, middle of the day kind of thing, but I really wanted to make sure that people could get on and hear this story. So we changed hers to Thursday night. Y'all settled. The kids are settled. If they not, go ahead and get them settled, because you're not going to want to miss any of this. You want to get a pen and pad. I'm giving you some tips now, okay? Go ahead and get everything, especially if you are in the medical field. If you desire to be in the medical field, if it's kind of something you've been praying about it's been on your spirit, this is the broadcast for you. It's going to, of course, help anybody who feel like God is pulling them to do something. This is going to give you the faith and the encouragement to step out. But specifically, if you're looking to get into the health field, this is going to really bless you. So go ahead, do us a favor, share this broadcast out so that other people can hear. Hey there, Daniel. All right, so as I said, this is my mom, so I'm gonna give you her name, Linda Gwin, and we're just gonna kind of take you guys back. She is the founder and CEO, the owner of Hands-On Surgical Assistants. So she'll tell you guys a little bit about what's that, you know, what is surgical hands-on assistants, like what does she do, who does she serve, who her clients are, and she also has a staffing agency. Can anyone not see the video? Deborah, I'm not really. Okay, so let's pause for the calls. Can you guys see us? I'm pretty sure you guys can, but just to double check. Okay, Aphrodite girl. All right, so that's my girl. All right, Didi, can you see me? Can you see us? Can you guys see us? Can you hear us? Because we're going to go ahead and move forward. Can I get a thumbs up or a yes in the comments if you guys can see us? So calm down. She's nervous, y'all. So can y'all give us some love? Can y'all give us some hearts to kind of help her calm down and let her know that it is okay? We are all family. Hey, Amanda. We are all family. See? They love you. It's going to be good. This is going to be good. Okay. Thanks, guys. All right. Appreciate it. Hey, Jason. All right. So let's talk. Okay, you can see me. I figured you guys could. All right. Praise God. We're going to keep pushing forward. So, I want to tell you guys just a little bit of story, a little short story before we get started, which is going to make this broadcast make sense. So here's the thing. When I was in high school, because people ask me all the time, Falon, how are you so driven? You know, how is it that you keep pushing? Like, of course it's God, but they want to know, like, where did that come from? And I want to share with you guys that it definitely, like, all my friends that are close to me know, and they say it all the time, it came from my mom. But let me let you guys know how far back it's been rooted in me. So when I was in high school, I came home one day and I had my schedule. I don't know why these alerts keep coming off. Okay. I came home one day. Sorry, Deborah, I don't know why you can't see anything, but we're live, girl. But I came home one day and I had my schedule. We had went to, remember, like the block scheduling in high school we went to. And so my mom, in high school, she still like did my schedules for me. So I came home, my schedule, and she was looking over it, and I had all like regular classes, like regular math classes, regular English classes. And she looked at me and she was like, no, we're going to change all this. So she went back and redid my schedule and put me in all AP classes. And I I was like, you ain't the one got to do this work. Like, of course I ain't say that to her because she would have knocked me down. You know what I'm saying? But I was sitting there, I was like, Ma, I was trying to really plead my cause. I'm like, Ma, please, I don't want to be in AP English. I don't want to be in like, I think it was AP Calculus. Like, it was like all advanced classes. And I'm like, Ma, I do not want to be in those classes. And she just said something to me. She was like, why? She's like, the other classes are easy for you. Why don't you just, she was like, you're going to do this. You're going to apply yourself and you're going to do great in these AP classes. And I'm like, I can't do it. She was like, that can't is not in your vocabulary. She was like, not only, she said, you can do it and you are going to do it. And guess what? I had to stay in the classes because my mom wouldn't let me change. And guess what? Like, I literally excelled and did great in those AP classes. And I didn't want to work hard. Like, I wanted the easier classes. Like, I didn't, of course, the regular classes were, you know, difficult, challenging too. But I didn't want them to be extra challenging. So I'm like, no, like, why would you change my schedule and put me in something like this? But what I realized is that my mom was embedded in us to always go the extra step, to have drive that's like none other. And that's just something that she really embedded in us from the very, very beginning. And it was as early as I can remember, like age 14, when she was doing my schedule. And I just kind of, and she always taught us to work really, really hard and to never settle for average. And then another thing, I came home with a C one time and I was so excited. I'm like, I got a C. And she was like, no, you don't get happy about a C. C's are not accepted in this household. She was like, you need to go back, regroup, do this over, and you need to come back. We only make A's and B's in here. C's are average. You're not average. And I was just kind of like, what's up with her? Like, what's her thing? I didn't understand that she was embedding something in me that would literally carry me on in life and make me the woman that I am. It's something that's called drive. It is innate. It's built in. Nobody can teach it to you. It's like, it literally, that's why you see some people excel and thrive in their businesses. And a lot of people talk about writing that book for years or talk about launching that blog for years. It's like, my mom has always taught us to get up and go. Last story I'm going to share with you guys before we get into her story is I had a job opportunity years ago in Tacoma, Washington. And because I watched my mom, whenever she got a job opportunity, which is how we got here to Atlanta, we're going to talk about that. I watched her pick up our belongings, literally. And she got a job offer here. She picked up our stuff. All we could fit in the car was our clothes, like whatever, our clothes that was on our back. She packed up a whole house, left all of our furniture. My grandmother had to go and move all our stuff out. And we came to Atlanta, been here ever since. So I watched her have that kind of drive to go after her dreams. It was a better job opportunity here for her to raise me, my sister, and my brother. So she was just like, let's get it. Came to Atlanta in our little Toyota Paseo, getting it, okay? A little hatchback, like getting it. So when it came up for this job opportunity, my mom was like, you're single? You don't have any kids yet? Go for it. Now, it was all the way across the country. And I was terrified out of my mind. And my mom was like, what do you have to lose? They're going to pay you more money. You're at the time of your life where you need to go and explore. And it's going to up-level your career. Go. So I moved clean across the country because of the drive that she put inside of me. And it really set me up for this amazing job with State Farm, where I was a recruiter traveling all over the world. But I would have never had the faith to step out and do that had my mom not instilled in us that you go after opportunities and you go after your dreams. Like, just go out of it with everything in you. And she always taught us that, like, you know how some moms, you go and you say, I want to do this. I want to do that. My mom never made us feel like it was anything that we couldn't do. Everything that we came to her and I was like, Mom, I want to do this. Like, growing up, she was like, you can do it. She made us feel like we could literally go on the moon if we wanted to. If we wanted to walk on the moon, she was like, girl, you can do it. Like, she never once said no. Never. So my dreams never seemed big and outrageous to me because my mom made them seem attainable and realistic by just saying, you absolutely can do it. Well, you can't do it. Somebody else has done it, so that means you can do it. Like, she always embedded it in us. So just wanted to give you guys just a little background of the type of woman that she is and the kind of drive that she has. So now let's get into her story and unpacking it on how she started her own business. So we got to go all the way back, my life. We got to take them back to the greenhouse on McKinley Street. We got to take them back to the greenhouse on McKinley Street that was infested with roaches, okay? Infested.
Grace.
Literally raining roaches. Like, we keeping it all. Y'all know we keep it real. Ain't no shame in my game because God has really elevated us, increased us, and taking us to, and it's all to give him glory, taking us to new heights. But we laugh about it now because I remember it was literally raining roaches. Like, I'm serious. Like, you would walk in and it was just, they would pour down. But it was a house. And we didn't have a home. You know, we had always lived in apartments. And so this was a chance for us to have a home. So I walked in and saw like a hazard trap, like gross. I like clean, neat stuff. And I'm like, you know, in high school, and I'm like, man, this is nasty. Like, we don't want to move here. And my mom was like, we gonna clean it out. I'm gonna bomb it. We're gonna bleach this thing down and we're gonna make it a home. And that's exactly what she did. So we move into this greenhouse. And even though she bombed it, y'all, like, how many times you bombed it?
Several times.
She bombed it several times before we moved in. We had them, like, ruthless roaches, right? Them ones that
that's embarrassing.
Yeah, that embarrass you. You sitting on the couch, and they don't come out till you have company. They crawling up behind you.
Yes.
I used to be terrified in high school. Somebody come over, and I'm sitting there, and they, like, coming up the wall. So, anyway, we in this house. So, talk to us about you move into this house, and at that point, were you like still doing the surgical assistant thing?
No.
Okay.
When I first moved in the house, I was on food stamps, housing authority, and working at Food Max in Starksville.
Yeah.
So I had a job.
It's a grocery
slinging
store.
Groceries. It was a grocery store.
Yeah, it was a grocery store. But let's talk about so again, my mom picked us up when I was in the 3rd grade. And this is going to bring us up to speed because you had a trade. It's just that, okay, so we'll get there. Let me go back. I got to go back a little bit further. I was in the 3rd grade. My mom came and picked me up from school with all my stuff in the car. We drove to Chicago and lived there.
Yeah.
You heard that right. She picked me up in school, checked me out of school in the 3rd grade. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to my friends. I didn't get a chance to say bye to the kids in the neighborhood. She was like, we going to Chicago. We drove how many hours?
12.
12 hours to Chicago. And she started over.
Yeah.
No furniture. All we had was our car and the clothes on our back and the stuff that she could fit into our little
white
what was
Spectrum. It was
Spectrum.
a Spectrum. Chevy Spectrum.
Yes. So we drove to Chicago. I was in the 3rd grade. And we ended up living there for 3 years. Mm-hmm. But God is so amazing because those 3 years set us up for the life that we live now.
That's right.
So what happened in those 3 years?
Well, I'm going to go back to when I first decided that I wanted to go to Chicago.
Because you were a single mom, right?
I was a single mom, and I was struggling, and I was tired of Starkville. You know, I was just out in the streets.
Starkville's a small town in Mississippi.
Small town, and I just wanted something different. You know, I wanted to pick up and, I wanted to start over. That was something that was easy to me. It's not like I had a whole lot.
So what, were you struggling
in
struggling.
Starkville? I was struggling in
And this
Starkville.
is a word for single moms. Like, you were in a tight spot.
I was struggling.
And you
bad.
had 3, I had 2 kids. Just me and my sister at the time.
Me and my 2 girls. And my mom, went and got a car in her name, and she didn't know it. So, and then I was trying to leave town, and she told me, you better not take the car. And that's why I picked her up from school, you know, and told her she couldn't tell anybody bye, so we left. So my mom would stop me from going. And once I got there, you know, I decided I wanted to go back to school. I had a friend in Starkville. Well, I call her my friend. She and I were both dating the same guy.
I was like, so let's talk about now. This is really good, y'all, about just how strategic God is and how he can turn good out of anything. So you and this lady were dating the same guy.
Dating the same guy.
And how did you guys even get on the phone to talk about anything?
Well, she called my mom's house and wanted to talk to me. And she came down and we sat down and she talked and she told me, you know, that was her boyfriend. I told her I didn't know it. And, you know, I apologized to her, you know, but we sat down, we talked like ladies. And then she had on scrubs. And I asked her, I said, what kind of job do you do? And she said, I'm a surgical tech. She said, I'm a scrub. I'm like, scrub? I've never heard of that.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
And I said, well, yeah, I'm getting ready to move. So, you know, that's something I like to get into. She said, I tell you what, when you get to where you're going, you call me and I will give you all the information. And that's what she did. She sent everything to me in Chicago, helped me find a school, and I've been off and running.
So we got to pause for the calls. I don't know if y'all heard that. So she was talking about, hey, you date my man, like, who are you kind of thing. And she just happened to see her in scrubs. And she's like, what do you do after they hashed it out? What do you do for a living? And she's just kind of like, oh, I'm a scrub tech. And I do this in the operating room. And my mom was looking for an out, right? That's why we're moving to Chicago. Mm-hmm. And she just casually mentions, will you kind of let me know how to get into the field? And I love when we see other women that know how to reach back, who's come out, come on the other side of it and know how to reach back and say, hey girl, I'm gonna help you. Like, there was no shame in her game. And she held up her end of the deal. She could have easily let harbor like unforgiveness and just pettiness kind of reside in her heart, but she didn't, right? And they were lifelong friends. Matter of fact, I didn't even know that they had that, you know, humble beginning, so to speak, until years later I was grown, because I always think this was just one of my mom's great girlfriends who was really proper, had this great job, like, you know, she was like a superstar to us, so I never knew they started that way. So my mom moves out to Chicago, right? And we're living with my aunt, and my mom is trying to get things together, and I like to unpack and share all the details, especially for single moms that are stuck, or you feel like you're stuck, because God always has a solution. He always has an answer. And you don't know how you're going to get out of the rat race of working, hustling, trying to take care of your kids, not being able to take vacation. Like, we're going to get into all that, because I didn't even know what a vacation was. No. Like, we lived through my aunt. Like, they took vacations and we thought rich people took vacations. Like, we didn't do that. Okay, so you're in Chicago and you go to school. And I watched her go to school. We were little kids. We were in like 3rd, 4th grade, 5th grade. We stayed there those years. And so how did you do it with us being so young? How did you go to school? Like, what were your hours like? How did you work it out?
Well, I took advantage of the system. You know, when I first moved there, you know, I didn't have a place to live. I lived with my aunt, and then I had another aunt that told me, you know, why don't you transfer your Section 8? I didn't know I could do it. So that's what I did, and we got our own place. And I said, well, I want to go back to school after she sent me the information, and found the school, enrolled in it, and I was working at a clothing store. I was working at these little
Montgomery Ward. I'll never forget
these stores, you know. And I was working there, and I said, this is just not enough money. So I applied for school. I got in school, and I did well. I took advantage of the system, you know.
Did you work during the day? And
no, they wouldn't let us work. I started out working, but they told us we had to quit our job. So that's why I had to take advantage of everything that was offered, you know.
I love that.
I had, you know, the system gave me aid. They gave me aid. They gave me stamps. They gave me this thing where I guess a federal preference where, you know, if you were single and they gave me money for books and everything that they were offering. I took it because I needed it, because I had to support my kids while I went to school. It was a 10-month program, and it was hard. That's why you couldn't work, because they was cramming everything in your head in 10 months. But I was able to do it, and we struggled. It was hard.
Well, let me interject, because we didn't know that we were struggling. No. We by this point we had moved into our own apartment in Chicago, brand new, beautiful apartment complex.
Section 8.
But I didn't know it was Section 8. I was like, it's brand new. You know, it was a brand new apartment building. New. It was really nice. You had to buzz to get in. That was something different for us. Like, you had to call in the call box and buzz you up. So I thought it was a really nice apartment, and it really was. It's very clean, really nice. You know, sometimes Chicago can have those, you know, developing areas, but it wasn't in an area like that. It was really nice, and it wasn't far from our cousins, so we could kind of walk to their house. It was really the perfect setup. But I watched my mom sit in the bed and study late at night. I'm a little girl, so I'm watching her. You know, I'm watching her. My sister and I were like big, you know, babies. We'll be in the bed with her. We had our own room, but we'll be in the bed with her, and one will be on the right side, one will be on the left side, and she'll be in the middle of the bed studying out her stuff. So moms, like, make it happen. If you don't get anything from this piece of the story, where there seems to be no way, a good friend told me, where there seems to be no way, you find a way. And my mom found a way to study even around our schedule. You know, with her having really young kids at the time, because like I said, I know I was in like the 4th grade. Yeah. So I couldn't be any more than about 9 years old. You know, which is still fairly young. Okay. So let's fast forward a bit. So you finish school and you start working, and things are good, right?
Yeah, things are good.
Things are doing really, really well. And we had been there about 3 years, and so we were getting up in age where it was time to go to high school, and my grandmother was like, they ain't going to school in Chicago. No. They not going to them public schools up there in Chicago. Like, you know, it was really bad during that time. Real bad. People were getting jacked for their Jordans. People were getting jacked for their, when I say, you know, they were literally being held at gunpoint for their Jordans. And we had little Jordans and stuff, but it was certain, we couldn't wear our Jordans out. No. We couldn't wear them out unless we was with my mom or with an adult, because they were taken from kids.
Couldn't even be on the school bus.
You couldn't be on the school bus.
They didn't have buses. They had CTA.
Yeah, it was the central, the public transportation system. And she didn't want us getting on any of that, you know. And so my grandmother interjected, and she was like, I'm coming to get them. So Unbeknownst to me and my sister, I guess my grandmother had orchestrated this whole. Did you know she was coming to get us, or did y'all talk about it?
Well, she insisted.
Okay, so we didn't know what was up. Like, we didn't know what was going on. I just knew that we had seen our grandmother, which we are a very, very tight-knit family. And so to not see her in 3 years, that was my first time as a kid crying tears of joy. I didn't understand why I was crying, and I was happy. So I remember my grandmother buzzing, and she surprised us, and I was like, who is this? And she was like, guess who, or something like that. And I ran down the stairs, hugged her, and she took us back. Yeah. So I'm crying tears of joy, and she was like, y'all gonna come back to Mississippi, y'all gonna live with me, I don't want you guys going to school up here. And initially I was excited, but then we started missing my mom, because
I was missing them.
Yeah.
I thought I was gonna be glad, but started missing my babies.
So we went down to Mississippi. My grandmother put us in school. Everything was great for a year, and then my mom was like, hold up, I miss my girls, I miss my kids, I'm coming down. So she ended up leaving Chicago, coming down after we had only been living with my grandmother a year. And that's when I think we had a greenhouse, right?
We moved into, we really didn't have
we had an apartment.
Person, yeah.
Okay, and then we moved to the greenhouse. So I get a couple years. A couple years after that, we moved into our house, y'all, the greenhouse that we already told y'all about. Okay. So I want to speed up to the part where she said she was in the grocery store, right? She was in the grocery store working. And I was embarrassed because some of the guys would come to school. I don't know if they still do this, but when you when you shop for groceries, your name, like, thanks for shopping, Linda, or something like, it had her name on the receipt. So the guys, they weren't trying to be funny, they just were jokesters. They would come to school and be like, look who I saw today, look who I saw before school. They would show me the receipt from them going through my mom's line. And I was embarrassed. I was just like, my mom, yeah, they used to do that all the time. I was like, my mom sling groceries, you know what I mean? Like, she
was happy to have
she
that
worked
job
up there at the Food Max, like, it was a little embarrassing to me, just because, I just looked at it like a grocery store job, kind of thing. But anyway, so my mom, knowing how driven she is and how she's a hustler, she got tired of slinging groceries, and I think a light switch went off on the inside of her. What can you talk to them kind of about what happened then?
Well, when I first moved back, when I was in Chicago, I was working as a scrub tech in my field, and then when I came home, I couldn't find a job in my field.
Talk about why and how did that make you feel? And I like to say all this because people are probably in that same spot, can't find a job, got a trade, and discouraged.
Yeah, I was, so I had to go to the grocery store, and, I was on the system again. I took advantage of that.
Well, why couldn't you find a job?
But because Starkville is small, and that job is just not a job you can just go up there and apply for.
Gotcha, okay.
So, it was hard to get in there, but what I did was I called those people for like 2 years, every week or every 2 weeks, and asked them, did they have an opening? Mm-hmm. And the lady kept saying, they started knowing my name. They go, well, no, Linda, we don't have anything right now. Her name was Ann. She said, no, Linda, we don't have anything. But I called them for 2 years, because I wasn't going to give up.
Yeah.
I didn't go to school for nothing. I wasn't going to sit there and just keep struggling like that. I had a trade, so I was going to use it. So when I called it, and finally, one day I was in the grocery store, after 2 years and pushing that grocery, and I get a call at my job.
Wow.
I tell you how God worked. He can make it work. Mm-hmm. I didn't even think about it back then, but they found me at Food Max. And they said, Linda, you have a call. And I went over there. I'm going, who called me at work? So I went up and picked the phone up, and they said, well, this is Ann from the hospital. You've been calling so much. We have a job opening, and we want to offer it to you. I know that wasn't nothing but God.
Yes. So, you're all excited. Again, we never really knew, and I forgot to mention this, like, my mom always kept us in nice clothes. Like, we didn't know that we were living in,
Yeah, it was a struggle.
Yeah, that we were struggling.
A lot.
I didn't know we were struggling until we moved into that greenhouse. That's when I knew struggle, okay?
Yeah.
I didn't know struggle in Chicago. We didn't know it at all. We had all the latest clothes and, always had new stuff. Like, she just took really, really good care of us. So, okay, so now we in Starkville. You get this call, and things are great. Now, y'all, the story takes a turn because she's working diligently. She's finally back in her trade, and I know for you, it's like, okay, now I can really provide a living for my family, for my girls. I don't know if you had David by then.
I did.
Okay, so then now she got 3 kids and a little one. So now you're trying to figure out, okay, things are great, but it wasn't great. What happened?
Man, I struggled so bad after I got that job. It started out good. It was more money than what I was making. But, you know, when you got kids and they're getting bigger, you know, you need more money. I had to get a car. I didn't have a car. And, I mean, it was just, I started struggling. Lights were getting cut off. And it was so embarrassing because a lot of the times the people who came out to cut the lights out were people that I knew from school.
Oh.
Now, that was very embarrassing.
Wow.
But I used to ask them, can you just not cut my lights off, please? You know, I can't afford it. You know, the light bill was so high in that little house. But once again, you know, my friend Trish, the one that she and I were friends, I was still talking to her on the phone, and she told me about a traveler. She said, well, why don't you become a traveler when you get enough experience under your belt? I said, oh, a traveler. What do they do? And I didn't have a whole lot of experience, you know, working in my field. I didn't really know how to do but a few cases because they didn't do big cases in Starkville.
So your trade set was kind of limited.
It was a very
because
limited,
of the hospital that you worked
Because of the hospital. I worked at a little small hospital.
But stay tuned to the rest of this story. But God, okay?
Yeah.
But God. So you guys heard she talked to her friend that she met through the guy. And she, again, helps her to level up in her career and say, hey, there's another opportunity for you to make more money doing the same thing as what we call travelers. So you find a traveling position, I guess, from her helping you and guiding you in Atlanta.
No, it was in Augusta.
Oh, in Augusta. Yeah, it was in Augusta because, yeah. It was in Augusta. I forgot about that. We went to Augusta first, but we came to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So you went to Augusta, but before, this is a powerful part of the story that I want you guys to really glean and listen to. Before we got to Augusta, now we were excited as kids. I was a senior in high school, so I was excited, but I was also not really looking forward to it because I was getting ready to graduate. So I would have a brand new graduating class. You know, I've been in school with these kids all my life, except for the 3 years we lived in Chicago, and they were more like family. You know, they're my friends that I had known all my life. We done lived in the same neighborhood, and I did not want to leave, but I knew that this was going to be good for my mom, for our family. So I put on my big girl, you know, pants, and I was like, all right, I'm going to move with you, right? Because I could have just called my grandma.
I wanted my kids.
Yeah, and stay with her. But I was like, I'm gonna move, you know, and I didn't want to like leave my mom. I wanted to go with her. So we moved to Augusta. But before we moved to Augusta, talk about, Mom, like what happened with the lady at the hospital and the Bible and all that stuff. Tell them that story.
Oh yeah, before I left OCH, that's the hospital I was working for. Before I left, you know, I had it was like a family there. They were really good to me. You know, I was struggling so bad. I would go in the locker room. They would have money on my locker. You know, I would get paid, and you know, I would work a lot of overtime. But they had this thing where they call guaranteed hours, where you could only get 40 hours. I don't care how much you work. They were only going to pay you for 40. If you worked like 50 hours, they were going to send you home at 40, you know, so that's all you were going to get paid for. So it was still a struggle for me. I even did the overtime, and that didn't help. So the ladies knew that I was leaving. I had one manager there. You know, she didn't really want me to leave. You got some people that'll try to keep you and keep you in, you know, don't want you to move up.
Right.
And, you know, she tried to discourage me. She told me, well, don't fall for any wooden nickels. You know, things are not always green on the other side.
Let's talk about the distractions of the devil.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the distractions of the enemy, because had she listened to her, I don't believe we would be where we at today.
No, she was trying to discourage me, but it didn't work. I had some other friends there. One lady, her name was Lydia. I never forget her. She was a wonderful person.
Wow.
You know, but she came to me. She said, I have something for you. She had just got married to this wonderful guy named Sam. And she said, Sam and I, we bought you this Bible, and we want you to, you know, use this Bible whenever, you know, you feel down, you read it. And I mean, I didn't even know anything. I didn't have a relationship with God. Thinking back on that now, he had a plan for me.
Jesus,
and I didn't know, you know, and so I took that Bible with me, but we got ready to go. So I was so happy to get it. I was very happy. I said, okay, you know, we getting ready to leave, because she's telling me don't fall for any wooden nickels. And I'm going, no, she's not going to hold me back.
Right.
So got home that day. We packed up all our clothes, had everything in the car. 3 o'clock in the morning.
Check this out, y'all.
On the morning we was getting ready to leave, 3 o'clock, they would beat my door down. We came to repossess your car.
We can laugh now. I don't even remember this. I must have been asleep. I don't remember this.
Man, they repossessed my car. I said, well, I got my clothes in. I got to get me and my kids clothes because we were just going to get up and leave.
Listen, so I got to pause because like that, you know how they say like when the biggest stuff come, you get ready for your biggest blessing. Mm-hmm. Like out of all the times to come and repossess the car, they come the morning she's getting ready to make her God move. It was a spirit-led decision. Yeah, God set it all up, and then the enemy comes right in and try to block that thing. What goes through your mind?
I was shocked. And I was embarrassed. I know how small Starkville is. And you think at 3 o'clock in the morning, you think ain't nobody going to see it. Oh, they saw it. Somebody, because they told me about it the next day. But, he said, well, you can come get your stuff out. I'm going. So I got my clothes, me and my kids. My kids were still asleep. Woke up the next morning, when they woke up, I'm going, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I still hadn't told them. I didn't let them know the problems that I was having. I sat there, I said, Lord, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Because you had to report to work at your new job in Augusta.
But I couldn't afford it. In order to get, I couldn't afford to get my car. I just had enough money for gas. Right. Because they gave me an apartment.
It's set up to where you get like housing stuff.
I was a traveler and they had provided everything, but I still had to get there.
Yeah.
So, I cried and I cried and I cried. I'm going, Lord, I don't know what to do. And I knew one of the ladies that I worked with. I had a lot of friends at OCH, and her name was Lisa, and we were really close. And I said, Lisa, I'm embarrassed. She said, no, what's going on? She said, you ready to go? I said, no, Lisa. I said, I had a setback. They repossessed my car, and I don't know how I'm going to get there, and I got this job. And she said, let me call you back. She went and talked to her husband, who was a CRNA.
Now, they don't know medical terms, but they get paid. They get paid, y'all.
They was getting paid good money, real good money.
Yeah, they get great salaries, yeah.
And she said, honey, get ready. You going to Georgia. You and those kids, you and those babies. And I'm going, I don't have the money. They said, don't worry, we got it. Amen. They gave me the money to get my car out, which I think was like $1,200.
Wow.
I didn't have the money to, for gas, food. And she said, here's $300. I said, I'm not going to be able to pay you back. She said, you don't have to pay me back. What we want you to do is reach back when someone else needs help and help them.
What?
And that's what I've been doing.
So she gave you $1,200 to get the car out, $300 for gas and food, and she said, you don't have to pay me back. Here's what I want you to do.
Yep.
Repeat that again.
She said, help somebody else.
Oh, Jesus.
Reach back and pull somebody else up. So,
wow.
And I said, well, God, if I get this opportunity, I'm going to do it.
So, y'all, we were cramped up. We got our little car. That's why I know. I'm like, I was like, how did we get up there? We was in the Paseo, but I didn't know all that happened. So we on our way to Georgia, y'all. My little brother, a little 2-door. So we got 3 kids. I think. Who was in the front? I don't even know who was in the front, but
Mooney was in the front. Okay, so she always read the maps.
My sister's so smart, y'all. She like a brainiac. My mom didn't really know how to read the maps, and I sure didn't know how to read them. So my sister in the front seat, I'm in the back with my brother, and mind you, even a lot of our belongings, because we had a Toyota Paseo. If y'all don't know, that's a 2-door hatchback. It's so tight. Small. It's small. So all of our stuff was in there, and my little brother, didn't want me to touch him. I was so close in the back seat. He get out for me. He a little grown little boy. He 3, y'all, but he talk like a grown man. He in the back seat, get off of me. Don't touch me. Don't touch my car seat. He like a big king. So we happy, right? We driving. We get to, we almost like they're moving on up. We excited, y'all.
Yeah, new opportunity.
Yes, new beginning. So get to Augusta, and things are great. Just kind of packing it up real, kind of moving the story along. I ended up coming back to Starkville because it was West Side High, and I didn't want my diploma to say.
She was going to lose credits.
Yeah, I was going to lose credits. I was going to graduate late. I did not want West Side High on my diploma. I wanted Starkville High School on my diploma.
Yeah, so education was important.
I came on back. I'm like, who going to hire me with West Side High?
She's like, I'm not doing it, Mom. I'm
not doing it. Just because of their name, I'm not graduating from here.
That's why you go back with Ann, then you can stay with Ann. But
so I went back with my grandmother, and I lived back in Mississippi for a year while she built an amazing foundation for the family. And of course, after that, I went to college and all that good stuff. So my mom, let's talk about kind of how you started to really excel in your career, because then it really put her into a new income bracket. Okay, when she made that one decision, it literally took her out of one income bracket and up leveled her like what, 2 or 3? Like, did you triple your income?
My income tripled.
It tripled. Okay, based on her accepting a traveling position. So she gets in the position. She's doing really well. Like, and this is what. Let me tell y'all about mindset. I gotta tell them this. Let me tell y'all about mindset. So when they moved us to Atlanta, they moved us to Buckhead. Paid for the apartment. Everything is all included in the way they work out the contracts. So they moved us to Atlanta and Buckhead, and we was like, I ain't gonna say what I want to say. I'm saying we don't see nobody like us. So we were begging to move to Stone Mountain, y'all. We were like, that's where everybody at. Like, get us somebody.
People were, yeah. We
didn't want to live in Buckhead. Like, we were living in Buckhead, and we were trying to get out of Buckhead because of our mindset and what we were accustomed to back at home. We weren't used to that nice luxury upscale kind of living that Buckhead offered back in the day. So I just thought that was funny because we look at that now like we got a stone mountain where we like, get us out of here.
Well, yeah, I wanted to go back, when we was in Augusta and I did my 13-week assignment. The only thing was that the assignment only lasted 13 weeks, but I decided that's okay. I was still scared to step out there on faith, to look for another traveling assignment because it was still new. I tried to stay at the hospital I was at. I applied for a job. Nobody would hire me. I said, man, I got to find another assignment. So the company I was with, they, told me about an assignment in Atlanta. It was Emory. And I'm going, oh, Lord, Emory. I said, I don't have a whole lot of experience because I didn't have, coming from Starkville, I didn't have a lot of experience.
But God equipped you.
He equipped me. So when I took the interview over the phone, I said, well, I tell you what, I don't have a lot of experience. But if you train me, I catch on fast. And I promise you, I won't let you down. I had to sell myself.
Wow.
And that lady said, well, we'll teach you everything you need to know.
Look, favor. The path was already laid out. She simply just kept showing up.
Yeah.
Every single time. She never quit. She never stopped. And that's why I put in, like, when I was talking about sharing her story about some things happened with her, just made some other people just quit. Yeah. Because there was a lot of resistance.
A lot of obstacles.
Yeah, a lot of resistance, a lot of obstacles, but she kept moving forward and she persevered. So now you're in Atlanta. You're working at Emory. Things are great. We have a great lifestyle, great living. I'm away in college, but I come back and forth to Atlanta, because Atlanta is home to me now. So I was traveling back and forth. I went to school in Mississippi my freshman year. So I remember coming back and forth and I was watching my mom steadily increase, like our lifestyle, like moving from apartments to finally moving to her first home, then turn that to a rental property. Then she moved into the second home. So I just literally watched her continue to excel and grow in her career. And I saw her never, ever, ever give up. And so she basically built amazing relationships with her doctors. She has really good business sense. And that's how she was able to really go from, how much were you making a year in the grocery store?
Whew. It was minimum wage, I think, with $3.35
so maybe $10,000, $12,000 a year, like something like that, to over 6 figures in like a couple years. Like it happened in like a couple years, with 3 kids, doing everything by herself, and she was able to do it. So I pray that this story encourages you guys to let you know that none of that matters. She had God. We talking about him all throughout. He's intertwined.
He had a
all
plan.
Throughout
I didn't have
this.
one.
Right. He had a plan. Amen. And I want to talk about too one last piece and what my mom offered for me and my sister. So many of you guys know I was a clinical neurophysiologist, and I talk about it briefly in my post. It's because of her. Yeah. She's always grinding. So this is how it happened. She's in the operating room working with surgeons, building relationships, right? Yeah. And she would tell the people, what y'all doing? My girls can do that. Like she has no filter. Like, my girls can do that. And they looking at her like, we know it may look easy. I was looking at these little lines because y'all, it was not easy.
I had one guy to tell me when I was at Emory, I said, what are you doing? How do you, because I was always trying to go higher. I said, how did you started doing that? He said, well, first of all, you had to have a 4-year degree. I'm going, okay, he's shooting me down.
Yeah, so he was trying to discourage her, but she was asking for me.
I was asking for my girls. I said, well, my daughter has a 4-year degree. He said, well, it's a hard field to get in. Yeah. But I didn't accept that. Right. I told my girls about it, and I kept working. And went to another hospital, and saw another guy there, and I asked another question. I didn't give up. Yeah. And
finally, she kept asking questions, and people would shoot her down. It was a very hush-hush field. Nobody really wants to let us know about it. And so you just kept asking until you finally got somebody who agreed to talk to you.
Yeah, I kept going. I wouldn't give up. That's the thing, I'm a fighter. I never give up. If it's something I want, if it's something I want for my kids, I'll make it happen if I can. And by the grace of God, you know, the right people were there, and I didn't give up. I'm going, well.
So you met I guess it was a guy. Yeah, you ran into this guy.
Yeah, I was in the OR. I was doing these hard cases.
Well, let me talk about this one, because the one before, the guy who actually was like serious with helping, I talked to a female. I remember it was a lady, and boy, she was so negative.
Yeah,
and she kind of just she was discouraged. She gave my mom the number just to kind of get my mom off her back, because my mom is listen, if it's something about business and building relationships, she's the relationship queen. She will get in where can't nobody else get in, okay? So she was in that lady ear, probably working her nerves when she was in there covering her cases. And so I guess she was kind of like, let me just get this lady, you know, my information. Her daughter can call me so I can get her quiet. And so when she got on the phone with me, she was very discouraged, and she told me it was a hard field to get into. You have to have a 4-year degree. I'm like, I have a 4-year degree. She was like, well, you have to have a science degree. And I was like, oh, I don't have a science degree. I have a business degree. At the time, I didn't have my master's yet, but God had a plan. And I said, well, you know, I'm very smart. I said, I learn, you know, fast. I can pick up. And she was like, well, it's going to just be too difficult without a science degree. She said, but you know, you're more than welcome to apply. Yep. And she didn't really give me any more information. I don't even know. She told me the company she was working for. And so I was discouraged. And I told my mom, and she said, oh, we ain't worried about her. We'll find somebody else. She kept on working. Okay. Came across a guy. Yeah. Looked like us. Okay. Was cool. And was like, I'm going to get you in.
Yeah, I said, well, my daughter's been trying to find her. I want her to get in this field. She has her bachelor's degree. And, you know, I said, does everybody has to have a science background? And he go, well, not everybody. Right. You know, I'm going, well, I was told you had to have a science background. He said, well, not everybody. Right. And he was so nice to me. I think his name was Miles. And I said, well, I think that's something that, you know, I want my daughter to get into. It's a great field, you know. And he said, well, I tell you what, I'm going to give you the number to our corporate office. And you call them.
Now, this is where the story kind of changed a little bit, because I called the corporate office for a year. Like how she called that company for 2 years, I called them every single month like clockwork. Hi, this is Falon. You know, I just want to see if you guys have any opportunities. Now, mind you, my mom was still seeing them in the operating room, so she saw them continuing to hire people, okay? It could have discouraged me. They kept saying they weren't hiring. No, we're not hiring. No, we're not hiring. But they didn't want to hire me because I didn't have a science background, so they kept pushing me off. And my mom was like, you don't give up. You keep calling them. I called them folks. I wore them out. Yeah. After a year, they were like, okay, Falon, we got a position. We're going to give you a shot, okay? And that's how I ended up getting in the field. I literally begged those people for a shot, and it changed my life, you know, and I'm very grateful to my mom for her being very persistent. And I got in, and then my mom got my sister in. Yeah. So she told my sister about it. My sister got in, and people looking like, wait, like, we don't see a whole lot of y'all in here. And now, and how did you and your sister, like, how that happened? But hold on, let me tell you about God. This is the last little piece I want to tell you guys. Me and my sister's doing it, and my mom is really good with really direct. That's why I said, if you want to get into the medical field and you want to really excel in the medical field, she's the go-to person. Like, she can literally walk you through step by step. Really, no matter what you're doing, she can show you how you can make the most money. You can maximize, you know, really your skill set to kind of level up in your career. She's the person. So when I started monitoring, my mom said, listen, you're not going to park here. You're going to own the company. She was like, it may not be the one you working for, but you don't work for nobody. You gonna own your own company. And I'm looking at her like, this lady got 5 heads. Because I already don't know what these folks talking about. It sounded like they're talking about Japanese, and she didn't talk about something, get my whole company. Like, it was over my head. But it's, you know how the Bible say, some plant, some water, but only God can give the increase. My mom planted. When I married my husband, Nikki, he watered. And that thing increased, right? It was the entrepreneurial spirit that was planted in me from my mom. And it wasn't what they thought it was going to be, because both of them had went into agreement that they're going to make me own my own monitoring company. And I didn't want to do that. But anyway, my sister gets in. And so one of my girlfriends come over to the house, because my mom used to cook on like holidays and stuff here in Atlanta. And so my friend comes over, one of my girlfriends. And my mom just it's her gift. It's just what she's good at. She's good at helping people with their careers. So she just talking to my friend. She like, yeah, she like, hey girl.
I had to give back because I was told to give back.
Absolutely. And here's what she did. My friend, mom said, what are you doing? She said, oh, I'm at school. She said, oh, what are you in school for? She said, an x-ray tech. Now my mom, I told y'all, she has no filter. She said, why? They don't make no money doing that. And I was like, Mama, and she was like, no, for real. She was like, why are you doing it? They don't make no money doing it. And she said, well, honestly, I didn't know. She said, I just wanted to get out of the field that I was in. I was told the medical field was the route to go, but you got to know which route in the medical field to take. That's the key. So my mom said, you need to get out of that. Mind you, my friend was getting ready to graduate. Okay? She spent all this money going back to school to be an X-ray tech. She's getting ready to graduate. Yep. And I didn't know what she was going to do, but she was listening to my mom, and she was soaking it all. My mom said, listen, I'm going to tell you, you're going to be pushing this big old heavy machine around the operating room. It's bad on your knees, bad on your back. They don't have no respect to you. They talk crazy. She was just going down the line. She was like, you don't want to do that. So my friend said, okay, well, what should I do? Mom said, you need to do what Nikki and Mooney doing. And she said, you got a 4-year degree. She said, you need to do what they doing. They make good money. They ain't no hard work. Yeah, you got to use your brain. You got to use your mind, but it's not a lot of hard labor. She was like, and that's the smart route. Like, let your degree work for you. Let it really work for you. And so my friend took my mom's advice, graduated from the X-ray school, applies to my sister company that my sister's working for, and gets the job. From listening to my mom, she changed her whole career path, and she's doing it to this day. Yeah, she's doing it to this day. She has an amazing salary, an amazing career, and at the time she was a single mom. Yeah, she's a single mom. She needs to take care of her son, you know. And my mom came in and really changed like her whole financial outlook, her career, by simply redirecting her. You did the same thing with me. I was in banking, and I wanted to go and be a RN. Yeah. Because you hear medical field. You want to get in the medical field. Mom said, listen, they overwork and underpaid. You're gonna be bitter. You're gonna be working all these hours. She's like, if you don't love nursing, don't go into it for the money, because the money is not glamorous starting out. And she was like, you're gonna make maybe 50 grand starting out. And we're talking about 2008. She's like, you're gonna make maybe 50 grand, but you're gonna work by 8 hours a week, you know, or 70 hours a week, or whatever, 60. You know, you're gonna be working a lot of hours. And I was like, oh, I ain't doing that. Like, I'm over here at the bank. I hate it over here. Like, absolutely not. And I'm making about that. No, I ain't about to do that. You know, work harder. And so my mom said, don't do that. I was looking into schools here in Georgia, you know, because I had a 4-year degree. So you know how it is. You take your prerequisites and stuff. So I'm trying to get, and my mom literally shut it down. And I listened to her because I watched her in her path with her career, and it's just her gift. She's just really, really good at that. And she's helped countless people literally that come to her that feel like there's no option, there's no way. And we're gonna wrap it up at this point, because this is where it gets really interesting. My mom does one more thing to take her career and her skill set to the next level. She went from being a scrub tech to
a first assist.
Talk to us about that.
Well, I was on an assignment in California. You know, I was tired of traveling. I had been traveling like 12 years, and you know, I was always sending my son off to my sisters to keep, you know, for 13 weeks at a time, sometimes a whole year. Yeah. And had another friend pour into me. She called me out there, you know, because I didn't know what I was going to do. I said, I don't want to go back to Atlanta. She said, yeah, sorry, I got something that you might want to do. You ever thought about being a first assist? I'm going, a first assist? What is that? and she said, you know, you'll be helping the surgeon. You know, you're still in the OR, but you'll be standing across from him and helping him, you know, just like another set of hands for him.
And you'll learn how to...
And you learn how to sew your patients. And
so we're talking about... When she say we say sew, y'all, we talking about sewing up skin, okay? Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going, well, yeah, I do it, you know. And she said, well, I got this guy, you know, he's going to help you, and he's going to walk you through it, and he's going to prep you for it. You know, I took a prep course, and I was off and running ever since. When I came back, you know, I enrolled in the school. You know, I was still working as a tech, taking assignments, but I knew I had to get that class done. So I did that, and it was a struggle because by then I was mad. That man taught me everything I know. He taught me how to, you know, to sew better. You know, everywhere he went, every hospital he went to, he just kind of just walked me through everything. God. But that was just God.
God.
You know, the
setting,
right people.
Aligning, exactly.
And God. He just keeps taking you higher. And I miss this doctor. He died a few years ago. But everything I know, I learned it from him. And I've been off and running ever since. And
that's what took her to the 6-figure mark.
That's
right?
what took me to the
That's what took her to
mark.
the 6-figure mark. And it was all alignment. And if you got anything from my mom's testimony, it is to trust God and do what he's telling you to do. If she would have never listened to her friend Trish and never looked into the stuff that Trish told her to look into, she would never have gotten into the field. And then once she got into the field, kind of plateaued with her income level, when the guy mentioned First Assist, some people kind of start thinking about all the excuses. Well, I got to get another certification. You know, how much money is that? You know, we start thinking about all the things that we can do. Right. My mom is, if you notice, ain't no quitting her. She like, what I need to do? Like, let's get it done. So if you don't get anything else from this testimony, I pray that you just literally get up and go, because God has you covered. So she didn't know that soon as she finished with her prep school to get this additional skill set, that she would have a surgeon for a paid contract to work exclusively with him. So that basically means that she's just like a what they call a PA, a physician's assistant. It's just that she just don't see patients and writes prescriptions. Yeah. She does everything else that a PA would do inside of the operating room with assisting the doctor. So God is just absolutely amazing. And then she took it to another level because she was working for all these staffing companies, and nobody, I just heard her complain about these different staffing companies. And guess what? Now she owns her own staffing company. Okay, come on, somebody. Do that. Yeah. So she like, oh, they making money, hiring people. And my mom has the relationships. Like, she had everything that you would need to start a staffing agency. Like, she could get the contracts. Like, why am I still going through this person, letting them take a chunk of my money and being the middleman? I can be the head, right? Because God said we the head and not the tail. So she rearranged that situation. Now she is the owner of the staffing company. Yeah. Like, it's God. It's all strategic with God. And guess what? It all started with a single mom with 2 kids in Starkville, Mississippi, literally barely able to make ends meet. And look at where she's at today. So I pray that you're right, Kiana. It is nothing but God. And his strategy of alignment and placing you in the right place at the right time with the right people as a result of your show up. You guys know that's been strong in my spirit, and I'm going to continue talking about the power of your show up. My mom showed up. She showed up, and all of this entire lifestyle was on the other side of her show up. Now she spends her time reaching back, helping others get into the medical field, level up their skill set, and become, if you're a first assistant and you want to learn how to sew, she has a course where she's going to be showing you how to do that. She shows other people how to actually sew. She has a board certified physician where she teach her sewing courses, because that's what's going to really take you to the next level if you are a scrub tech. And scrub techs don't make a whole lot of money. No. They're low on a totem pole in the operating room, and my mom can really show you. She's really, she spends her time reaching back and showing other scrub techs how to up level their career, increase their finances, and become valuable and full of worth inside of their workspace. So she's really good with that. And she also mentors she loves mentoring young girls, because you guys know I'm a product of a teenage pregnancy. My mom got pregnant with me when she was 15, had me at 16. So her heart is for especially single young moms. Yes. So she spends time really showing them that, listen, sweetheart, because you had a baby, that doesn't mean your life is over. Because, you made this mistake, your story is not canceled out. That doesn't cancel you out. And you being a single mom doesn't dictate you having to struggle and be on the system. So what she does is with her clients, she kind of like help them bypass that whole struggle bus learning curve, and she gets you on a path to winning. Like, she show you strategically, do X, Y, and Z, and you'll be in a completely different situation in a year. 6 months. Some of her people, 6 months later. Like my friend, it was 6 months later, and her entire situation changed. And she has a career that she enjoys, that is taking care of her and her son. She has 2 kids now, and now she's married. So it is like, she's doing just what that lady told her to do. Yeah. Reach back and help. And God is just so strategic, because it was already in her. Right? Yeah. It was already in my mom. He brings it out. Whatever's in you, he'll bring it out. When you don't even know is in there, because they put me down when I was in school. I was the only one at my high school pregnant. They tried to put me out of school, but my mom said, no, she's going to get her education. She's going to school. So it's deep rooted. It goes all the way back to my grandmother. Drive is built in us. And that's another thing too. My mom is really good with redirecting your focus and saying, don't look at your situation. get up out of this. Like I told you, and I know,
things are possible.
you know, she used to say this to me, and even though she didn't say it when Nick transitioned, because that was tough for all of us. Like that was something nobody saw coming. But prior to Nick transition, she would always tell me, "You not the first one, and you won't be the last." She tell teenage moms that all the time. Do not walk down with your head down, making you feel like your life is over because you see your friends living their best life. You not the first, you won't be the last. Let's get it.
Don't let nobody dictate your life.
Right.
You know?
Yes. So, Mom, how can they reach out to you for your services with business coaching? As far as, now this is career business coaching, meaning if you want to get into the medical field and you are desiring to just really take a path that's going to change your financial situation for you and your legacy, your children, and you really just tired of being stuck. You tired of living paycheck to paycheck. You guys heard our story, our humble beginnings. Like, listen, so she definitely understand all that, and she's just, God has given her a gift to really show you a straight plan to get unstuck. That's the best way I can put it. So I guess the best way to reach out to her is to just inbox her. So I tagged her in this video. Feel free, guys, to reach out to her for her services. She'll give you guys a quote. I think she has a free consult set up to where she'll just kind of chat with you on the phone, hear your heart, hear your dreams, hear where it is that you want to go. And I told y'all she don't have no filter. So be prepared when she be like, girl, that's not the way. But let's get you on the winning path.
Don't change who you are. Yes. Always be who you are, you know, because, you know, God don't like fake people.
Yes, awesome. So if you know, if you have friends, family members, anybody that you know that just need this message, can be encouraged by this story, please feel free to tag them in it, share out this broadcast. And if you know anybody that's in the medical field or desire to get in the medical field, I think sometimes we sit and we pray and we like, God, give us an answer, and it's in your heart and you know you want to get into the medical field. Then if that's been on your heart as well, feel free to reach out to her, and she'd love to kind of chat with you guys, get on the phone, do a free consult with you. Just hit her up in her inbox. That's the easiest way because she's busy. But if you hit her up in her inbox, she always on Facebook, so she'll definitely reply back to you. Her heart is in the right place, and she wants to help. It's amazing, and I'm gonna end the broadcast here after I say this statement. It's amazing. Like, I met one of my girlfriends who she was just at a place in her life, and at the time she wasn't pregnant, but she was living with her mom, working, you know, a job that she wasn't making a whole lot of money. And she saw me and she kept saying, we the same, we 2-3 years apart. Like, how is it that you so successful at this young age? Like, how are you doing this? And I'm like, it's my mom. I'm like, and I'm trying to tell her the stuff that my mom but my mom has a way of talking to people and coaching them and encouraging them to step out and do it. It wasn't my gift. I couldn't get her to do it, but I thought about her and I immediately thought, I told her, I said, you need to talk to my mom. Mm-hmm. You're not going to be in the same situation in a year if you just talk to her. But the thing of it is, you have to be coachable and you have to do the steps because she worked fast. When I say she worked fast, meaning like, she not wasting any time to give you the steps on what you need to do to get out of your situation. She worked exceptionally fast and her heart is in it, so she's really accessible and she's like fully vested. So if you're really ready to change, serious people, definitely reach out to her and she'll be more than happy to help you. And even if it's just a desire and you don't know where to start, she definitely is the person to talk to because a lot of times the enemy keep us stuck in the unknown. And
he'll use other people to keep you in your place, don't want you to move higher, but it's like I said, it's a mindset.
Right. It is a mindset.
You gotta want more and it can happen.
Yes.
My motto is don't work harder, work smarter.
That is her motto, y'all. Like when she saw me work, she was like, listen, you hustling backwards. What you doing? She will give you a winning plan. So I pray that you guys were blessed by this broadcast. I think we have time for maybe 1 or 2 questions. So if you have a question that you would like for my mom to answer live, I want to give you guys an opportunity. If not, we understand, girl. Many of you probably like, I'm ready to slide in Miss Gwyn's inbox. But if you have anything or any feedback, anything you want to tell, I know my mom has done a phenomenal job. And my friends tell me all the time, you are so blessed to have a mom like Linda who push you, encourage you. Like, she's been invested like from the very beginning. And I definitely attribute God and my mom for me and my sister. Y'all know my sister, whole doctor, MD, whole like medical doctor. Okay, for real, no games over here. And it's really a testament to, and we are products of a single mom, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just no limits to what God can and what he will do through a willing vessel. So are you ready to show up? Are you ready to step out and stop scrolling, okay, on social media, comparing and counting yourself out because you're looking at other people, and just look that if you go ahead and make a decision today, I promise your life will not look the same a year from now if you just go ahead and make that one decision. So I rambled a bit so I can see if you guys had any questions, but it doesn't seem like anyone has any questions. Mom, do you have any last sentiments to give to the people?
Yes, never give up on your dreams. You know what you want. Fight for what you want, and don't let people, just because they say no, that doesn't mean anything. You got to keep pushing, and God will do the rest. You show up,
He'll show out.
He'll show out.
This is a great question. Valerie said, does your mom have multiple degrees? This is so good. Or did she move up with the initial degree that she has? Still she got, and it ain't even a degree.
It's just a certificate.
It's a certification. Come on over here and get these coins, lady.
Yeah, it was
like
a
seriously. Yeah, it's a certification. But she just, like I said, it's her gift. She can show you how to maneuver and think with whatever situation you have. So yeah, she does not have a college degree. She went to a 2-year school.
I got a 2-year degree.
Yeah, a 2-year. Well, so she have an associate's degree.
Yeah.
But she, she has an associate's degree and she has her certification.
There's always other ways to get to where you're trying to get to.
That's right.
Because God always has a plan.
Amen.
And when I didn't even know I had a plan, He had a plan.
And that's too, when she was taking her to getting her associate's degree, she would leave me with my grandmother on the weekends. She would drive and go to school during the week and come home and take care of me on the weekends. Single moms, make it happen. Mm-hmm. Like, she did not go to college because she had me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just kept pressing forward, and it set her up for the life that she has now. But yeah. So yeah, Valerie, that answers your question. Pretty amazing, right? Nothing but God can really truly take somebody from ground zero all the way to the point where you're the employer. Nobody but God.
And I keep going higher.
Amen. Yeah.
With God. I'm telling you,
does.
all things are possible.
It was good idea to start with getting your CNA certificate. Then, okay, I really enjoyed this. All right, so that's a question that you may want to reach out to her and ask her about getting a CNA. That's kind of detailed. My daughter is in high school right now, taking up nursing program through school. She is not sure. Sure what area to go into right now. She's 16. So, if you want to get her in a mentorship program with my mom so that she can kind of coach her through what path to take, it goes all the way back to what you should be majoring in. I didn't even share this story. I need to share this story. Okay, because this is going to go right in with this question. So I go out to the University of Alabama. My major was business. No, it was pre-physical therapy.
Oh, yeah.
Because my mom told me that's what you're going to be your major, right? That's what you're going to do.
Yeah,
you're going to be a physical therapist. She told me why, all the perks, like she named everything, right? So I was like, okay, I'm just going to listen to her. I get to school, y'all, and I think my first math class, I was like, I ain't about to do this. So I mosey on over to the student center.
She didn't tell me.
I changed my major because I think my cousin, he was like, you sure you want to be a physical therapist? Yeah, they make good money, but you know how hard it is? Do you know, I know a lot of people didn't make it through PT school. One of my first cousins, I never forget, he discouraged me so bad. And I didn't tell my mom. I just went back to school, changed my major, and I think my major had been changed some months. And I was like, Mom was like, so how's it going? And I was like, well, I kind of changed my major. She didn't talk to me for a month. Of course, she talked to me, but it was like no in-depth conversations.
Yeah,
like,
because I want to go to work and carry my briefcase.
Yeah. I was like, I want to go to work, because I was looking at TV. I was like, I want to go to work and carry a briefcase and a power suit. I was like, I want to be in business. And she was like, and you ain't going to make no money.
That briefcase and that power suit didn't make any money.
30 grand a year. I was like, this ain't going to cut it.
That's all they paying you for out of college?
She was looking at me like, you would have listened to me. So, had I listened to my mom, like, I wouldn't have had to go through half of the stuff that I went through. But thank God I came to my senses after I was grown and in my career and walking in with that power suit on, that briefcase, barely making ends meet. And I'm like, okay, Mom, so can you help me? And she helped me and put me, and I eventually ended up being back in the medical field where I didn't want to be. Yeah. So
and it paid off.
Yes, it definitely paid off. It built like the grit and the grind and the drive that I have now running my own businesses. It set the pace because I learned how to be submissive and work for somebody, and I watched my boss build his company. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so I hope that answers your question. The earlier, the better to get some kind of mentoring from her, so you can really avoid those pitfalls. And you know, I went to school, got in all that debt,
Yeah.
you know, and was struggling. But I thank God that, you know, all was not lost, and I was able to still get in the medical field and still do really well for myself when I was working in corporate America, thanks to my mom. So, and God, of course. So I hope that answers your question. So that's gonna be it. We'll go ahead and end it here. Again, you guys, she's tagged in the post. She's tagged in this video. So you can just click on her name and click send a message if you guys want to ask her anything specific. I know someone asked something about it being a CRNA. I think
CNA.
A CNA. Yeah, not CRNA. Good. Yeah, we not just inbox her. We're not gonna.
Please call me. Let me tell you all about it.
Okay, guys. So thank you, Mom, so much for sharing your story. It was inspirational, phenomenal. I had to twist her arm, y'all, to get her here, but Lord knows she got here. And I pray that
She has been asking me.
I haven't asked her since 2017.
Yeah.
2017, and she was like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And she said, I'm going to do it when I get some time. So we finally got her on. So also, guys, I told her to start providing content on her page to help as well. So make sure you follow her because she's going to start doing videos and, you know, just like I do my lives with free tips and stuff to kind of keep you guys inspired and going on your career path in like corporate America or whatever. So she's definitely going to be doing that. So make sure you hit the follow button, Linda Baker Gwin on Facebook, so that you don't miss her next lives that are going to be coming really, really soon. I pray you guys have an amazing night. This was a powerful session of the Kingdom Entrepreneur Spotlight, and I pray that it encouraged you to go after your God-given dreams, walk in your assignment, and go win, girl. Bye, guys.
Bye.